Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video, we're just going to talk a little bit about Masdevallia orchids, and more importantly, I'm going to show you some cool flowers. So, it is just a miserable December day out there. Hopefully the rain that is hammering the greenhouse right now isn't picked up too loudly. I've got a whole bunch of Masdevallias laid out here, just some different sort of assortments that are looking good right now, that are in bloom, that I thought I'd show you. I was doing a bit of watering, so some of them are going to be wet, and then I thought, you know what, now's a good time to do a video. So, why don't we talk about a little bit about Masdevallia care and culture, and just show you some cool flowers and stuff like that. Now, I've got a bunch laid out, and they all grow on the cool side of the greenhouse. None of them grow on the warm side on this table, and they like it sort of in the summertime. It's really bright and hot for these guys in the greenhouse, and they don't do super well. But come this time of year, December, I have them still down low, but most of them have lights around them, which I didn't do last year, and the lights are making a huge difference to their growth. So yeah, I have lots of flowers and stuff. So this is just a handful of them. I do have a bunch more, and there's lots of spikes coming out on them as well. But let's get started on these guys. So this is Masdevallia Angel Frost, and I'm starting with him because he's taller, and then we're going to kind of move down because most Masdevallias are pretty small. But this is a nice, easy to grow hybrid. And if you can get in really close, and I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get in really close, but we're going to try our best. You can actually see, let's see if I can show you. You can actually see a little bit, on camera it just shows up like a white hue, but they're little tiny white hairs, and I'm just grabbing a pair of tweezers to point. Let's see if we can do this. Right in this area here, you can see sort of a white hue. Those are little tiny hairs reflecting off the light right now on that angle, but I can see a bunch of hairs up here as well, and it just gives that sort of frosted look to the flower, so it's kind of cool. Unfortunately, the hairs are very tiny. It doesn't show up very well on camera. Let's see what else we have since we're way zoomed in. Masdevallias, most of them, as they say, are small plants. We're going to back you up. This is one of my newer ones, and it has just produced a brilliant show for me. Whoops, let's see if we can do this without moving the table too much. Look at this little guy here. So this one is mounted. This is one that I got from Equigenera. And I'm going to butcher the name probably on it. Masdevallia nidifida. It looks like an R there, but it's actually just half the N is missing on the front, on the first letter. So it's a nidifida. Anyways, look at how the flowers came out on this. And I don't know what they remind me of, but they don't remind me of like flowers. They're kind of like insects. I'm going to put it back where it was hanging because the little things are so sensitive that I'm shaking it just with a camera movement. Let's go down a little bit. See if we can get a shot of these guys nice and still. There we go. So they just remind me of like little insects. Between the wobbly table, and I swear I'm not shaking that much, but these guys sure move. Little thin little stems to them. Cool little orchid though. So this one is on a mount. Now Masdevallias and mounts, in my opinion, don't really go together. I'm just trying to zoom out here. Let's see if we can. Oh, I am zoomed out. That is zoomed out. So let's zoom in and have a really close look at these guys. Masdevallias and mounts really don't go together, in my opinion. And the reason being is, and I'll zoom you back out, Masdevallia roots don't really stick to wood at all, or in this case, the cork bark. It was on there when I got it. I didn't mount it on there, but I did leave it on there, and it was a good thing I did. But Masdevallia roots are designed to sort of travel through moss, but they don't really stick to wood all that much, so I don't know that it will ever really stick. If that string lets go, even though this is a huge flower on this little piece of wood, I don't think any of the roots are actually sticking there. It will just fall off. So let's back that guy up again and leave him. Nice, brilliant orchid, though. This one here is just starting to come into bloom for me. Again, it's a nice hybrid. It's really robust. I think it's, the name is Dylan, I have written down on it. That's not its full name, though, so don't quote me on that. Hopefully you guys don't want to find it or anything, because it's like Adrian Dillon or Caleb Dillon or something like that. But beautiful hardy plant. Nice looking leaves on it too. It's a very robust grower. Here's another one opening just over here, and I'm sure if we looked close there'd be more buds on there. So other than cool temperatures and sort of moderately bright light, these guys like it moist. Most of their soil is going to be moss based. They don't need it necessarily soggy, but they don't really want to dry out either. They won't be happy if they're drying out. This is a nice one here. This is Exquisita. Good sized flowers. They have these like long pieces on every side, so it gives you a, it's bigger than the palm of my hand in width that way. This one is just starting to open. It's still sort of stuck together there, but that is a nice little one as well. I just recently repotted that and put it in mainly moss, and it seems to do well. This guy here, Discordia, I probably butchered that, but anyways, funny looking flowers on this one. They have very short stems to them, and they that is fully open. They kind of open with just a slit. Funny shaped Masdevallia, but cute nonetheless. Now this one I'm told is more of a warm grower, but honestly it's done so well on the cool side I don't want to move it to the warm side. And again, it's just recently been repotted and mainly moss. So we talked a little bit about light and how they hate the summer heat. They do better in winter. We talked a little bit about the media. They do like it very humid. Now, oops, we'll get you back in focus. How's that too? They do like it very humid. They don't necessarily like to be dripping wet. When I water these guys, a lot of times I will water them with a soft jet of water and just try to get to the media itself. And if I do shower them with water, I put the fan blowing right across them so all the leaves dry. Being they like it sort of moist, damp, and bottom shelf area, they are prone to more bacteria issues than some. Like there's a little black spot there. That's been there for a long time. It's nothing to worry about. Let's see. Looks like a little bit of it looks like a burn on that one right there, the way it's clear and then black, like it got too hot maybe in the sun or something like that. But anyways, and then I'm going to show you one more, but I have to move some of these down for that. So let's just move these guys down. And this one is not necessarily in full bloom right now, but it's a really impressive size to it. There we go. So I think it ate the tag. I was just watering this guy. The tag is gone. Unfortunately, I can't remember what the name of it is. I know, shame on me. I will try to find the name, but I'm also going to show you a flower on it, and then maybe you guys will know the name of it. So let's see if I can get you in a little closer. And there is a flower. Here is the flower on this little guy. You can see all kinds of spent flowers as well. Let's get you up there. So look at this little cute flower on this Masdevallia here. Very cute little guy. And so you're not going to believe this thing started a couple years ago in a 4-inch pot. And it blooms continuously. It looks like we're just sort of coming out of the blooms. If you start to see, you'll start to see all these like spent flowers all over the place. And it looks like we're just missing a lot of the blooms. But it got so big in the 4-inch pot, and I didn't know what to do with it. And there's one that's just finishing. There's one that's just starting. That I actually put this inside a saucer. This thing underneath, it is in a low tray. It is a saucer. I found I couldn't contain this Masdevallia. Let's back you up now so you can see the real size of this. I couldn't contain this Masdevallia. It was just like sprawling all over the 4-inch pot. So I gave it something more to crawl on, and I just put a bunch of moss in the middle and planted it up in there as if it was a big pot. And you can see it's climbing down the edge of the saucer now as well. It's just absolutely massive, and it's really it's high maintenance. When you have a plant this big, it produces a lot more leaves, and a lot more leaves die on it than you would ever think. I'm constantly picking out dead leaves because, let's face it, leaves do die. But of course, by the looks of it, leaves do grow as well. But this thing, I can pick out 10 or 20 leaves a week on this thing that have died, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So I'm assuming we're doing good. All these leaves that are still sort of half crimped are just coming up. So there's dozens of new growths coming out of this thing right now. And it is doing very well. But anyways, that is 10 minutes worth of Masdevallias. I'm just going to swing the camera around here. Excuse my mess. This area here is about where I got them. So they're down low, which means they're in the coolest spot in the greenhouse. They have a shop light over them. Just a plain old shop light with cool white bulbs in it. This time of year, that's their only light source. There are more Masdevallias down there with just a shop light over them. They don't need intense light. They're not like the helium 4s up here just above them. So in the springtime, that area does get morning sun, but this time of year we are in the dead of winter, and it is completely supplemental lighting. And as I say, last year we didn't have the supplemental lighting. It was just kind of dark down there, and I really noticed the difference in growth and quality of plants. So the lights in here have done really good this year, really well. And there's the other Masdevallias and the Dracula orchids, which are very similar. All have lights on them this time of year. I figure why not? Well, it didn't work well last year, so here's my Path Insignia. I'm going to do a video on this one. It's finally blooming for me, so that's cool. But anyways, there is now 11 minutes of Masdevallia care, culture, and blooming. So for blooming tips, just give them plenty of water, a little bit of fertilizer, and in the cool weather like this, if they have a little bit of bright light, it seems to just work for them. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys.